We found our entrance to our deck to be a bit, well, boring. I'm gonna try my best to build something that can make a separate outdoor area and entrance to our garden and deck. So it will be a garden arbor with raised planter boxes where we can grow some kind of climbing plant and make this space amazing and also make a pretty cool entrance. These are the detailed plans I made in about 5 minutes, and with the approval of my girlfriend, I got started. A quick trip to the sawmill and $105 later, I had all that I needed. Well, to be honest, it was 2 trips. Anyway, I got some treated lumber for this project. We don't know how to treat this or if we want to paint it later on. So I got treated lumber just to buy us some time before we had to make that decision. Just to make sure I don't make too many mistakes, I measured and marked out where I wanted everything to go on my deck with a pencil. I want the planter boxes to be the same width, and I want the arbor to be centered. I chose to make the planter boxes raised to minimize the wood-to-wood contact to keep all this as dry as possible, get some airflow around and under, and to make sure it's easy to clean underneath. I cut the first shorter legs and set them up about where I wanted them. And as you can see, I have this angle on my deck that makes this a bit more complicated, but I'm sure I'll figure something out. After that, I cut the longer legs, which also will be the actual arbor trellis thing, where the plants will climb. I put them exactly where I wanted them and then quickly realized this is going to be a challenge to build by myself. I screwed the long legs into the deck to keep it from falling over. And I double checked the location of the legs so everything is square and even. I chose to screw a support to keep the legs evenly spaced in the top as well, so when I fastened them in the bottom, the top of the arbor wouldn't be all wonky. I kinda cheaped out when buying the boards for the sides and just got rough sawn and not planed or surfaced. I kinda like the look, and in worst case I'll just sand them after installing them. No big deal. I chose to make mitered corners on the boxes, and with the quality and straightness of the boards I bought, that decision would come back to bite me in the behind. As said earlier, the corner of my deck is at an angle, and using the last couple of brain cells I have left, I figured the total angle is 45 degrees, and if I divide 45 by 2, the angles I would have to cut are 22.5 degrees each. I must admit this took a little while to get right and quite a bit of measuring. It probably doesn't look that hard, but remember, I am not a professional. And then the designers of my chop saw decided to make the angle guide a sticker, which promptly scratched off. Well, This time it was fine as I still could see the actual numbers, but what would I have done if the whole sticker got scratched off? I got to screwing in the boards and I had to get a bit creative. The mitered corners, as you will see, didn't really turn out great, to be honest. I don't know if it's my cheap chopping saw, the crooked and warped boards, or both that I can blame. It's definitely not my measurements, that's for sure. Hopefully no one will look at those specific corners, or maybe I'll just have to remake them. Once my hard corner box was done, it was real easy to make a square one. Just like that. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. And I also have some links in the description of some of the tools that I use. Next step is to make the bottom of the boxes. I chose to add some supporting slats and then just lay the boards down on top. Later I will drape the inside with some plastic or landscaping fabric to keep the soil in place. Just remember to make sure the water can drain properly out of the boxes. This part is not really rocket science, except I had to get a little creative with my special angled corner box, but it turned out fine. Only thing I would have double checked is the depth of the boxes in the inside to make sure the plants will like it there and not be too shallow. Hopefully this works, and we also have several options on which plants we're going to get for these. I thought I was gonna make a top part for the boxes to make them all fancy, but apparently my girlfriend didn't like the space they would have taken up instead of the plants. But I would highly recommend doing that. It will look much better, especially if you plan on having smaller plants in the boxes. We're going to get big plants that will cover the shorter legs, but I would still cut the tops of the smaller legs at an angle to make it tidier. I actually might have to do that later. Then I cut some bracing for the arbor to keep it stable and to have something to attach to the climbing part too. I had some wire fencing left from another project that I decided to use. It's not the prettiest, but why not use it when I have it? Also, this will hopefully be covered by plants anyway. You could also use narrow slats in case you want a different look of the arbor. I used a staple gun and simply stapled the wire fence to the post all around the arbor. And just like that, we build a cool garden arbor entrance trellis thing with some raised planter boxes. This is a nice way to separate different parts of the garden or your deck, and I'm pretty pleased with the results, although it's not perfect. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe.